Hello, everyone. This is Jen with Jenny Demonic, and today we are continuing this series that I have started the last time on hoodoo products and how you can use them. And today I'm going to talk to you about the graveyard dirt, which is widely used in hoodoo, in demonic, and voodoo magic. It's a very used product. And now one video is not going to be enough on the graveyard dirt. I mean, there's so many different studies and so many different schools and so many different uses throughout the world about the graveyard dirt that 10 videos about the graveyard dirt would not be enough to be exhaustive of all the uses of graveyard dirt. I would say that it's probably the most popular item that spellcaster used for spells all over the world. And if you talk to me and you talk to 10 different other spellcasters, you're gonna find out that we are all using graveyard dirts in slightly different ways. So I'm just going to make an intro video on graveyard dirt because again, it is really not possible. This is like there should be an encyclopedia on graveyard dirt because there is a ton of material about graveyard dirt. I can tell you for the purpose of this channel how I use it, how you can use it, what are the things that you should be warned about it, and I can just give you a general view of graveyard dirt. And most likely graveyard dirt is something that for the most part you're not going to be able to use yourself. I mean, other than the little things that I'm going to tell you that you can use it on for yourself as I tell you today, but for the most part, this requires really an experienced caster. This is not something that you can handle on your own. But I'm gonna give you tips and things that you can do, and I'm also gonna show you how I use it. And for that purpose, I did put on my site a quick cause illness, quick curse that I do for you with graveyard dirt, and I cast it on video as usual. And it's pretty cheap, so you can repeat it every one in moon, or you can repeat it with me after the first one if you like. So check that out. I'm gonna put the link right down here. Don't forget that I still give Reiki on Bonanza, and thank you for those who finally chose to review my services there. I really appreciate that. I could use more reviews on Bonanza, and if you want to see me there for Reiki, for protection and whatnot, you can see me there, and I'll see you on Zoom. And if you want the quick curse with graveyard dirt, I posted down here. The coffee nails curse, thank you guys for all of those who ordered that. That one is very powerful and it's still on my site. So if you want to do something that's more powerful than the quick curse that I have for the graveyard dirt, you can do the coffee nails. Spoiler alert, there's going to be some very powerful waning moon cursing that I'll be able to post next month about the curses. And spoiler alert, there's going to be new products for new moon about same-sex love, so that I give attention to all of those who are not, spellcasting unfortunately was created at a time where relationships were, according to people, meant to be only between a man and a woman, and we already know that it's not the case. And it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't the case back then either. But spellcasting was designed and geared that way. Now things are opening up, so there are new experiments in spellcasting to help people that have same-sex love. So stay tuned, because we are about to release new products after new moon. So we're gonna be in Wani moon until August 7th. It's important, because the Wani moon products that I have on my site are very powerful. The curse with Graveyard Dirt, even though it's a one-night cast, is very powerful, and it's cast on video. So I strongly recommend you to take advantage of that, because this is a very powerful Wani moon summer cycle, because we can use the heat and the dirt that becomes dry to attract a curse to your enemy. So don't miss that. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I should buy the divorce package by Diana. Well, if you want to buy the divorce package of Diana, you need to really take advantage of the heat that dries a relationship. And so there is a there's a meaning behind some of the casting that we do, especially cursing during the summer. So if you intend to drive an enemy crazy, this is the time to do it. And not that it's not going to be powerful in the fall. There's going to be other things in the fall, but you want to take advantage of the heat of the summer and the drying of the hurt. So for this one, I'm going to tell you first how I use it, how I use the Graveyard Dirt, and how you can use it. The easiest, simple, and most simple, I think it's simplest. My English betrays me. The simplest way that you can use the Graveyard Dirt for yourself is with the Feces spell. And I'm going to tell you how. So Graveyard Dirt is a powder, right? It's this one that is found on in the graves of people. So it has a meaning, and the meaning is either to get dirt from someone that was executed, or that someone that was a very bad person during their life that caused harm to other people. So you're going to use that dirt for magic that is destructive and negative in nature. And that's how, for the most part, we use Graveyard Dirt. Or if you get dirt from someone that was loving to you, you can use that dirt to bring back a lover. Or if you are getting dirt from someone that was a psychic, or someone that was a person that was very spiritual during their life, you can use that to communicate with your ancestors. So spirits, medium spells, and spells of that kind. And if you are having a court case, you can use Graveyard Dirt from the grave of a lawyer to bring good court results to you. So I'm gonna be comfortable here in my usual lotus position that reminds you of what? My Reiki. So Graveyard Dirt can be used in a variety of settings, but it all depends on where you collect the dirt from, right? So a lot of Graveyard Dirt that you buy online is just dirt. And so I don't know, honestly, that you can find real Graveyard Dirt online. Again, I trust Madame Yaya's. I talked to you about Madame Yaya's in the last video. Check that out. And Madame Yaya's makes a great hot foot. I think for the most part, she makes also good Graveyard Dirt. But honestly, I collect my own. So we collect our own. But we also use people that do not do not associate with vendors or any kind that gives us graveyard dirt. So what I'm trying to tell you is that unfortunately, it really matters where your graveyard dirt comes from, because you might be buying. There's a ton of things online, a ton of people online that sell graveyard dirt. Okay, you go on Amazon, you're gonna find people that sell graveyard dirt. You go on eBay, you're gonna find people that sell graveyard dirt. But the bottom line is, even though it's very cheap, it's like they sell you graveyard dirt for like what, $6, $7, $8. It's a good idea to ask them where they collect the dirt from, because a lot of people don't collect the dirt from where it's supposed to be collected from. And in that case, it will be useless to you. But I think that you should ask me, do you have graveyard dirt? Do you want me, can you send me some graveyard dirt? Can you use graveyard dirt for me? Any of the above, you can ask me. Or you can look online, graveyard dirt, and ask the seller, where do you collect the dirt from? Because it depends on the use that you're gonna make of the graveyard dirt. Now, let's go back to that. Remember, I told you graveyard dirt has a lot of uses. For curses, for court cases, for bring a lover back, for communicating with the ancestors. I mean, there's a variety of uses, and it really depends on the type of caster that you are. Hoodoo casters will use graveyard dirt in a very different way than voodoo casters, demonic casters, or other types of casters. Again, the options are limitless here. I can tell you the most efficient and secure way that you can use a graveyard dirt. If you're trying to get rid of an enemy, if you're doing the Physis spell on an enemy, and if you don't know what the Physis spell is, you should refer to one of my previous videos. I think it's one of the earliest videos in this channel. So let's say that you're using the Physis spell, and I think I do talk about it in that video. You are writing the name of the person on the toilet paper, right? I should probably redo a video of the Physis spell. Is that a deal? Because a lot of people still have questions about that, and I can spend a little more time explaining that. So let's make that deal that I will actually do the Physis spell video next. But for the purpose of this video, let's say you're doing a Physis spell on a person. You have your black pen mark, and you have your toilet paper. You're ready to go to the bathroom, and you are ready to cast the Physis spell on this person. You put a little bit of graveyard dirt on that one after you smeared, sorry, that's gross. You smeared the piece of toilet paper with the Physis. Sorry, I know that's gross, but some of the spell casting is gross. You put a little bit of graveyard dirt in there, you close the toilet paper, and you flush it in the toilet. And that brings about quite the result. Now, it still matters where you get the graveyard dirt from, because if you're getting the graveyard dirt from the grave of someone that was a good person in life, that's not gonna do anything. So again, the first thing that you need to remember is, if you intend to use graveyard dirt, you need to ask the seller where he or she collects the dirt from. If you don't get an answer, it's because they're just selling dirt. And so I wouldn't waste my time on people that don't answer on where the dirt was collected. Come to me and see, and I'll see if I can send you some dirt. That's one way to do it. The other way is come to me. The graveyard dirt course is pretty cheap. It's on my site now, so maybe you just want to do that. But if you want to use dirt for yourself, then ask the seller where the dirt comes from, and if she tells you that the dirt is from the graveyard of a philanderer, the dirt is from the graveyard of an executed person, the dirt is from the graveyard of a person that was a murderer in life. So all the good stuff, right? So you can use that graveyard dirt for the feces spell. And that's one use. Another use is very quick use. You get a piece of brown paper bag, you write the name of the person, you smear the name of the person with the black art oil or doom oil, and you put a little bit of graveyard dirt in it, you fold it away from you, and you toss it in the toilet and flush it down. That's a very effective, quick, easy peasy. You can even put hot foot powder on there to get rid of that person, or hot foot oil. So very easy to do. But again, even in that case, you will need a graveyard dirt that was collected from the graveyard of a philanderer, of a person that was executed, of a murderer, of a person that was not such a good person in life, you know. So you want some negative aspects of that graveyard dirt that you're using on the feces spell or on the piece of brown paper bag. Another thing that, well, you know, I'll make a video on the feces spell, but the brown paper bag was also used in lieu of the actual toilet paper for the feces spell. We're going to talk about that in the next video, because I've already decided somebody's car alarm is going crazy. I've already decided that we're going to make a video on the feces spell. So then the other thing that I need to tell you is how I use the graveyard dirt. I believe I am a pretty experienced spellcaster, and so I have had many uses of the graveyard dirt over the past years. I use it to stop something. So for me, the graveyard dirt, you know, again, collected from the proper sites, is perfect to stop sex between, oh, did I say the word sex? Oh my God, sex, from between two people. So a way to do that is to collect the graveyard dirt onto specific sites. That will not be the philanderer or the murderer, but it would be someone that passed away as a result of a sex crime, or, you know, some sort of sexual problem there. And I unfortunately cannot go into details because this is a YouTube videos. So for that, I usually for anything that has to do with sexual dysfunction, you will have to come to me, because that graveyard dirt needs to be collected onto specific sites. And I use that to stop the sex between two people, to stop the attraction between two people, to stop everything between two people. It can also be used as a breakup, but it needs to be used in between candles, and it needs to be collected from the proper site. But this one does stop or create sexual dysfunction. So that's how I use it, to stop something, to stop the feelings, to stop the intercourse between two people, to create dysfunction there. That's actually the most common way that I use graveyard dirt, that clients require me to. But I've also used graveyard dirt in the way that I told you about with the feces spell. It is also very, very, very effective there. Now I'm going to spend some time on the general uses of graveyard dirt. Because again, I told you, it's used in many, many ways. It can be used for protection. It really depends. Again, remember, it depends on where you collect the dirt from. Can you collect the dirt on your own? Yes, you can, if they allow you to. You just have to know who the person was in life, okay? It can be used for enemy spells, revenge spells, negative spells that I have already told you everything about, okay? It can also be used in love spells, but for that you need to collect graveyard dirt from someone that really loved you in life. And it's an iffy there. Some casters have had very, very mixed bag results with that. I don't recommend to use the graveyard dirt for love spells, but that's just my experience. We disagree on that, me and other casters. There's a lot of different literature there. You feel free to explore it, but I would not use it for love spells. That's just my take. I just don't. Maybe you find a caster that will. It can be used to work with the spirits of your ancestors. If you are a medium and you want to enhance your capabilities, your medium capabilities, that can be used in that way. Some people use graveyard dirt to work with the spirits of murder victims and to work with the spirits of those who were unjustly executed. That's more for protection. And you know, the way that I use graveyard dirt is mainly for negative spells. Sometimes I mix it with hot foot powder. I mix it with sulfur. I mix it with gopher dust. We're going to talk about the gopher dust. I mix it with crossing powder. So I do different things with graveyard dirt, but again, not to say that you cannot use graveyard dirt. Again, I'm going to recap this for you so that if you want to use graveyard dirt and you don't want to come to me, you will know, and you will have at the end of this video a few tips on how to use graveyard dirt safely for your own purposes. And so also the graveyard dirt can also be used for protection and for bringing about an inheritance. And some people use the paperwork type of spells like graveyard, like court cases or inheritance, anything that requires the transaction of money from one part to another. They use the graveyard dirt of a lawyer or an accountant. You know, again, it goes to the specifics of where you collect the dirt. So that's why it's important to know, because a lot of people ask me, Jen, what do I use the graveyard dirt for? And I mean, you can buy graveyard dirt anywhere. Oh yes, you can, but then you don't know exactly where that graveyard dirt comes from. So see, guys, in spell casting, everything has a meaning. Of course, there is a physical meaning for everything. There is a scientific meaning for everything. If you're looking at how a candle burns, you can interpret that in a scientific way. The wicks is short, there's the wind. I mean, you can give explanations that are perfectly logical, but you are also looking at the signs in terms of hoodoo that relate to your targets, because there's always going to be a scientific explanation for everything. But as a caster, you are concerned about the spiritual explanation rather than the scientific explanation. Of course, if you're lighting a candle in the middle of a big wind, your candle will go out and you're going to have to tell your client, well, your candle went out. Yeah, there was a lot of wind. You know, you have to kind of use your judgment there. but you have to interpret the signs. And so because everything has a meaning in spell casting, you have to collect the dirt and everything that you use in spell casting in the proper way. And you have to say the proper formula, and you have to talk to the proper entity. Everything is part of a process in spell casting. This is why spell casting is an art. And a lot of people say, well, I tried this on my own and it didn't work. Well, you might need more experience there, because I always say that it's like baking a cake? It is like baking a cake. And sometimes it will come out the way you want to, and sometimes it won't. So how will you use the graveyard dirt properly? You will, first of all, see what you want to use the graveyard dirt for. Now, I don't recommend to use graveyard dirt for lost spells, but it's just me. You are more than welcome to browse around any caster that does. I don't recommend it. And I think I have a fairly established reputation, but what do I know? I don't recommend to use graveyard dirt for positive things. You can use graveyard dirt for protection, but I still recommend graveyard dirt to be used for negative spells. And after you use graveyard dirt, you should have a cleansing product for yourself, because this is no joke, like the gopher dust, which we'll talk about in the next videos. So the best way for you to use the graveyard dirt is to add graveyard dirt on the feces spell or on the brown paper bag, as I told you just earlier. You're going to make sure that the graveyard dirt is collected from the grave of a philanderer, a person that was not so good in life, a murderer, and these kind of people. And so then when you know exactly where the graveyard dirt is coming from, then you're gonna get a spoon of graveyard dirt and you're gonna put it on the toilet paper where you already wrote the name of the person, and you have already smeared the toilet paper with feces, sorry for being gross, and then you pour graveyard dirt and flush it on the toilet paper. And on top of that, you can also use brown paper bag, no feces spell, just name of the person, a little bit of black art oil, or even better, doom oil on the brown paper bag where you wrote the name of the person, add graveyard dirt to it, fold it against you, toss it flush it in the toilet, in the toilet. Usually people say something like, I flush you out of my life. If you want this person out of your life, I suggest on top of the graveyard dirt, you add hot fruit powder on that brown paper bag. So these are the two uses that are simple that you can do on your own. If you want to stop the sexual attraction, stop anything, to stop something from happening or continuing to happening between two people, you can use graveyard dirt, but that is more of an experienced edge. You will have to come to me or go to a spellcaster in general, but it can be used that way. It can be used, the graveyard dirt from the grave of a philanderer, and you put it in between the two candles in breakup work to stop the sex or create sexual dysfunction between two people. I can do that on the curse, the small graveyard dirt curse that's on my site. So if you're interested in that, it will be there. It's pretty cheap. I think it's around $70. And I cast it and I send you a small video about it with insights. This is the time to do it because it's summertime, the dirt is dry, it's perfect for this type of casting. I think I told you everything. And now that reminded me while doing this video that we should really talk again about the feces spell and do another video on that feces spell and incorporate the uses of the graveyard dirt onto that feces spell. and be more detailed about it so that you can try that on your own. But if you do, remember, you need to get a cleansing product. So you can buy a cleansing product. Let's see, Lazaro brand, Madame Yaya's, Art of the Root. I'm not associated with any of those, but you can look them up. You need a cleansing product, because after this, you will need to kind of, some of you that have bought the spell kit from me, I did send a solution to you. That one would do, and I made that. So anything that is basically cleansing after this you will need. So what did I tell you? The graveyard dirt, you need to buy it, and you need to know where the graveyard dirt has been collected. So you need to remember to ask the seller where they actually collect the graveyard dirt from. If they cannot give you an answer, you're just buying something that it's useless. Come to me if you have a question, or if you need graveyard dirt, I can sell it to you. And if not, just get the curse that's online, and that will do as well. If you want to try the Fizzy spell on your own, watch the Fizzy spell video. In the meantime, I'm going to redo that and see how you can use the graveyard dirt along with that video, okay? And remember, there's the Reiki and Bonanza that you can use to attract love, and also we'll post a new course with graveyard dirt below. This is Jen with Jenny Demonic, and I wish you a wonderful end of July. Bye.